Hi, chat. I don't know why I keep calling y'all chat. I don't know what's up with me. What's up, YouTube? So welcome back to my second video. Today we're gonna be talking about Jack Besh, and as you can see by the intro to my video or the title to my video, I think he plays like with the same intensity when he has the ball in his hands as a Maxx Crosby. Like, call me crazy, Maxx Crosby if he was a wide receiver. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And I think the Raiders have a type. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But looking at Jack Besh, he's a great wide receiver prospect. He's a guy that can pretty much do anything that you ask him to. He looks a little weird when he runs the ball, but it's effective apparently. A lot of people couldn't stop him. I imagine that the NFL is going to refine a lot of his playmaking ability, a lot of his route running. He has pretty good hands. I imagine they're gonna expect him to improve on his catching ability. But I don't know. I was just watching his tape a lot, and I was just noticing some things about him. Overall, he's a great wide receiver. He's got good ball tracking. He's got pretty good yak ability, which is surprising because he doesn't look like it when he runs. He doesn't lose speed when he's turning, but that sacrifices some cuts, I'd say. Like, he's not a sharp cutter, but when he turns efficiently, if that makes sense. And we'll look at some examples of that later on. You'll see that he's not like he's not super twitchy. He's got some twitch, but his ability to turn a corner is crazy. You'll see. He's good at changing pace during routes. He knows how to leverage a corner or a defensive back with his speed that he's running. He makes tough catches. He's quarterback friendly. Again, I touched on it a little bit earlier, but he's a decent route runner. He's I'd say average, if not a little above average. And like I said, the NFL will continue to refine his ability to run those routes. Hopefully the Raiders can turn him into what I believe he can be. He fights for every yard. That's why I compared him to Maxx Crosby. He's a little bit of a menace when he has the ball in his hands. He doesn't want to go down. He's tough. He looks like sometimes he seeks contact, and he doesn't shy away from it. I'll say I won't say he welcomes contact, but he doesn't shy away from it. He's got great acceleration. I'm kind of all over the place, but he's got great acceleration. And again, he plays through the contact, even though he doesn't welcome it. He's not afraid of it. As far as some things I want to see him do better, I want him to be a better blocker. Overall, he plays with a very high center of gravity. He's hard to bring down. But that was in college. In the NFL, when you have people who are strong as crap and everybody's stronger than you, like you want to play with the lower center of gravity. You'll see how he runs kind of high, and hopefully he refines that a little bit once he goes to the pros. He had little to no production early on in his career, and that's not a huge knock. You know, some guys you see blossom later on in their careers and their college careers, and then get to the pros and they're pretty good. But I don't know. It's just in my negatives right now, just because we needed to add some things to my negatives. But he has little to no production early on in his career. Again, also he played on LSU early in his career, which had a freaking look at the wide receivers that they put out. They had people above him that they felt like were better than him at that time. So in his junior career, he went to TCU and ended up breaking out in his senior year with a little bit of production in his junior year. He can sometimes, I feel like, telegraph his routes. He could also create better space on his routes. Again, that I think is due to his subpar twitchiness and ability to make sharp cuts, I guess. And again, I think that'll be refined as he gets to the pros. But you'll see how he kind of rounds his turns and his cuts a little more than putting a foot in the ground and pushing off. And then I think he just needs a little bit more discipline. which hopefully they work on the Raiders work on in their rookie camps. Just getting him a little more discipline here in the professional snap count, not jumping off sides. A few of his games I was watching, he had a few are an offsides penalty here or there. So yeah, I guess we'll get into some of his tape and see what we're looking at. But just overall as a player, you can see here that he just makes the high point catch, and then he secures the ball, brings it to his body before he even gets close to really making contact here. We'll see again, but he's again high point, caught it, and bringing it in, securing it in his body before he takes the hit. And yeah, catches through contact and secures catches through contact. Here you'll see a little bit of his ability to go down the field. I'll say his ability to get off the line is pretty effective. I mean, again, granted, the guy at the top of the screen, he was running a comeback, and Jack was running a go route, but you'll see how he gets out of his stance, and he's also a step or two behind the line of scrimmage, but you'll see how fast he gets out of his stance or out of his position into his actual route tree, a little bit faster than his other receivers. And that's kind of what I noticed by watching this tape overall, not just during this one play, but I mean, you see how fast he gets down the field, and then boom, he's able to track the ball well, bring it in. Here's another play from Jack, just going to the sidelines, being friendly to your quarterback, giving him a window to throw to that's not dangerous, away from the receiver, or away from the cornerback, I guess, towards the sideline. It was a good ball by his quarterback. I guess to be a little safer, you could put it a little further out towards the line of scrimmage, but he didn't, and it secured 15 yards on that play. So good play. Again, just looking at what Jack can do. Boom, across the middle. And this is his yak ability that I'm talking about, that where he doesn't look like he should be able to do it, but he's doing it. Look how he runs, and then boom, he stops sort of on a dime. He didn't really stop all the way, but he definitely faked out that receiver, and then again, just running, just making those turns that lose no speed at all. Look at these turns, not cuts. Just turn, and then boom, contact, plays through it, puts his shoulder down, runs to the guy. Like I said, I felt like he's like a Maxx Crosby type of player, just because his motor is high when he has the ball in his hands, and he's not shying away from contact, and he's kind of strong. Boom, puts his shoulder on that player. But yeah, we'll skip on to this next highlight against Kansas. This is just a dot through the seam or up the seam from his quarterback. Good route from Jack, gets open well. Again, just talking about that acceleration. You see how fast he gets off the line of scrimmage, way faster than his other receivers. But again, they're running different routes, so you can't really compare it on this play. But again, that's just a common theme I saw amongst all the tape that I was watching with Jack. But again, just a guy that can do whatever you ask him to do. I feel like, again, like I said, I feel like they'll sharpen his route running ability in the pros. But as of right now, he's doing what he needs to do, and that's in college, and it did enough for the pros to be able to see him and want to bring him in. Again, just looking at this play, he's running a good route. He understands timing with his receiver that's next to him, running underneath him, kind of doing like a reverse pick almost, or even using the DB that was guarding the man on the inside to pick and to screen his defender. But I mean, there's still a player right there, and Jack secured the catch despite contact. Again, bringing the body in quick, or bringing the ball into his body quick, securing it, not catching with his body, which is big difference, but he's catching with his hands and bringing it into his body. But again, good catch here. His yak ability on display again. Again, rounding these corners without losing any speed. Look at this. It's not him cutting up the field, it's him rounding that corner, which could be very effective on yak plays. Here we are looking at just again his yak ability and his ability to play through physical players, physical defenders. Are, I won't call that defender physical, but ability to play through contact is what I'm trying to say. He runs high, but I mean, if somebody tries to tackle him high, they're not getting him to the ground. That's clear, and that's obvious. Here we're looking at Jack on the outside, like talking about a guy who can do everything. It's a 50-50 ball, but you got Jack out there. Throw it up. He'll come down with it. He's a big receiver. He's big receiver. He's got some weight on him too. That's why he's able to play through contact. But he's tall as well, and obviously he can go up and get the ball. Here you see Jack on the inside working his way again. Actually, no. He's on the outside and worked his way to the inside. And let's look at his ability to get off the line here again. It's kind of a slower release this time, but I think this is the way to leverage the DB, make them think that you're about to do a shorter route concept, and then turn it on later on down the field, or down later on in the route to create separation from your guy, which was obviously effective here. And then again, being able to catch and hold on to the ball through contact. He had a couple of drops and incompletions during the season, but overall he's been a good sure hands guy that will lay his body out in the line and really go get it. Here are Jack just going up, talking about playing through contact, being physical, making the catch and holding on to it. And then his yak ability just on display again. Like, this guy, he can do everything. I like him a lot. And I hope his career works out. I hope his career with the Raiders works out. Even though he is going to the Raiders, let's just hope they do something with him. Here we are again with Jack going downfield. Just good ball tracking, coming back to the ball. And then again, that yak ability and that physicality. Of course, you'd like to see him put the ball in the other hand when he's rather than running with the ball to the inside field or inside of the field. It's an easy strip by DB. Obviously, it wasn't too easy for this guy, but it could be stripped by, again, with those NFL pros who are a lot stronger. Just make it harder for them to get that ball by putting it on the outside. I don't know if I've seen a stiff arm like this in quite some time. Using your arm on the outside of your body to stiff arm the defender when he's coming from the inside. So that's interesting there. Again, just his yak ability on display, his physicality, his strength on display. Here's Jack again, just almost like a corner post, but I mean, he's running towards the corner out of his release, and then kind of cuts it back up to the middle. I think it's a good route, and Jack sold that pretty good. Again, him rounding that route off rather than sticking his foot in the ground, which wasn't necessary. He got behind his guy, and there was a obvious loss in the defense with this guy not really knowing where he's supposed to be. And then again, just showing Jack just being able to do it all. Going up, making a physical catch on the sideline, putting that awareness on display. This is obviously the type of stuff that got him drafted to the Raiders. And then again, just him putting his body out on the line, making a diving catch, securing it, bracing for impact. Like, just It's just great football. He's a great football player. I hope he has a great career. I hope the Raiders take care of him. I see him doing a lot. I'm glad they got Geno Smith out there, and then Tom Brady making a bit of more of a splash in the organization, making some not really decisions, but kind of putting his input in decisions. Hopefully they can turn things around there and get the train back on the rails. They've got good young talent there. They obviously drafted Ashton Genty. They already had Brock Bowers. They have a lot of good young guys on that offense. The center that they drafted last year as well. They have, again, just a lot of good young guys on that offense that I believe can really create some firepower in Las Vegas. So let's see how he turns it on this year. Let's see what he does. I'm not super high on him in fantasy, not in his first year, but I think overall, as his career takes off, I think he's going to be pretty good. I think he's going to be in Vegas at least through his rookie contract, and if they're not having to pay a bunch of guys, which they shouldn't, because Geno's older and they should be drafting a quarterback soon, ideally. So they should be able to retain him, but we'll see how his career plays out, barring any injuries. But yeah, thanks for tuning into this video. It's a short one, it's a quick one. I wanted to get one out this past Saturday, but I was busy with some events this past weekend. I had church and a church event where we put on a cook-off, so I was hosting that and planning for that. So yeah, I was pretty busy, but still got one out this week. I want to be consistent, if anything, just put out videos. Again, I do want them to be high quality, but I think the most important thing is just making sure that a video gets out there to y'all so you can see what I'm about, just see what I want to do with this channel. And then I have some other channels also where I'll post some gaming content and whatever else. So just feel free to subscribe and like, or just however you want to support if you feel necessary. But yeah.